It is another case of a plaintiff alleging he's not getting what he paid for. In night court tonight, DeMarcus Rogers of Alabama has filed a lawsuit against Kraft Heinz, arguing that the food-making giant's Country Time lemonade canisters purport to make 8 quarts of lemonade, but actually only make 6. The suit also claims that the company has fueled a major marketing campaign to falsely portray this. Let's start an argument with the Talking Feds podcast host, former U.S. Attorney Harold Lippman, and Genco Legal founder and managing partner attorney Brian Rotella. Counselors, thanks for joining us. Let's go to Exhibit A here. This is the plaintiff's claim. Kraft Heinz statements prominently displayed on the label are untrue, misleading, and likely to deceive reasonable consumers because the canisters do not contain enough powdered drink mix to make 8 quarts of lemonade or pink lemonade using the line in the cap. Harry, I'll start with you. I guess you think this is legit according to our rules, right?
It is legit. Look, let's say you went to a restaurant, Tim, and you were 16 people and you ordered 8 quarts of lemonade. They showed up with 6 and then they charged you for 8. You'd be upset about it. You'd want to hold their feet to the fire. That's what happens here. My guy does not have a heavy pour. He did exactly what they said. It says 8 quarts, and you use this very cap. You take it off, you fill it to the line, and you put in water. And guess what? You do that and you make not 8, but 6 quarts. And this is a class action. He doesn't want other people to be deceived. You know, 8 quarts, 6 quarts, not the end of the world, but it happens again and again and again, and they're just lying about it.
Brian, that's a pretty good argument. It's all about volume here. If you do this over and over again, you're talking some, real powdered mix volume. What about it?
Well, hey, Harry, great to see you again. Hey, Rich. There is volume here, Rich. 210 lawsuits were filed in 2020 against food and beverage companies, of which 110 were actually these types of false and misleading claims. I think we have great news tonight, or probably not so great news. The trial lawyer has evolved from an ambulance chaser to a grocery cart chaser. I think that's the breaking news. And why do I think that? Well, this gentleman who filed this lawsuit put in his complaint that one of the primary reasons for this was because when he tasted the lemonade, it tasted diluted. Is his expert going to be one of the little rascals? We're talking about 8 quarts compared to 6 quarts. I don't know. Harry, Rich, this case sounds like a lemon. I think it's going to get thrown out. I do not think a reasonable consumer would find this to be confusing. I think this is a loser.
Harry, what about that? I mean, what if he's got a, heavy scoop hand or something like that? He just likes his lemonade more concentrated.
But he doesn't. That's the whole point. He goes exactly to where they tell him to go to, and that's what it makes. He's not a guy who just likes more powder in there. He's a guy who's doing just what they said. I take Rich's point that it's not the case of the century, but it's a lie, and it plays out again and again and again. If they say 8 quarts, ought to be 8 quarts, not 6 quarts.
Brian, last one to you. Give me your closing argument here. It convinced me. How is this going to work?
Well, bottom line, they actually say on their website, give and take some of the powder for taste. This gentleman's problem was it felt like it was diluted, Rich and Harry, when he was tasting the lemonade. Well, they're even telling him take a little bit of powder here or there. Do we really want folks to have to go to jury duty in Alabama for a case like this? I don't think so. I don't think anyone wants to sit through this between really 8 quarts, and actually on the website it says 7.875. I think this is a lawsuit that probably shouldn't have gone to court.
I think the company is going to have to mail everyone 1 extra scoop. That right there is your compromise. Guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.